Everybody, Andy here again, down on the beach, and I do believe that spring has sprung, Lovely day down here today, very little wind. You might be able to hear the waves hardly crashing, lapping onto the shore, I think. Today I wanted to talk about the census, because over here in the UK, next Sunday, the 27th of March, is Census Day. Now, whether you have a census where you are or anything approaching it, I really don't know. But what it involves, for those who aren't aware, on a specific day, every 10 years, and it's always on that odd one year of the decade, 2001, 2011, etc. Families have to fill in a complete form, and obviously the form, it's now a booklet. I don't know what it used to be like years ago. It was pretty basic, I think, and it's grown and it's grown. There's all the debate about the type of questions that are on there, because it's not just about who is living in the household, which is what the whole idea of it was back in when it first started. The first proper census was held in 1841 in the UK. They did hold them before that. I think there's an 1821 and an 1831, but they weren't official ones. I think they were more like tests. And the only other time since that 1841 that we haven't had one was 1941, when obviously the Second World War was going on. And the idea is to find out how many people are living in a specific house, a specific address at a time, their occupations, their relationship to the other people that live there, etc. Now it's grown. It did used to have occupations and that type of thing, and where they were originally born as well. But now it's grown, and it's got religious questions about what religion you are, what nationality, because obviously these things have changed over the years, and a lot of other questions about work and about your qualifications and things like that. A lot of people now are saying, well, do we really need a census? Especially as supposedly it costs around about £500 million to administer, to sort out. That's a lot of money, especially in this day and age. From my point of view, I've used the census returns quite a lot for family history research. They are brilliant documents for family history research. The only trouble over here in the UK is because of the way that they're done, you are not allowed to view the results for 100 years. That's in case there's anything on there that might be incriminating or embarrassing, should we say, to someone who may be alive. And they reckon that 100 years is a pretty good time to have it secret until they're released. So we can only see up until sort of 1911, I think it is, we're just about now. We can only see from 1911 backwards, but even so, they are great documents for family historians. You can look back, as I've done, and many of them, from 1841, 51, 61, 71 and 81 and even 91, where your relatives, etc., were living, and you can find out how, by working back, how old children were, how old people were. It's not always accurate, especially back in those days when people wouldn't write a lot of them, so the information wasn't maybe quite as good. But I just wonder now, in 100 years' time, will people look at the 2011 census returns when they're issued or whatever, so that you can actually see them? Will they view them in the same way? Do we really need that sort of social history recorded in an official way now? I mean, as I said, back in the 1841, 1851, etc., we didn't have anything else. That was the only means of really finding out where people were, where they lived, what they did, and that hence the fact that it started in the first place. But nowadays, so much other information we have to give, our information, our details, records of work, whatever it might be, tax returns, etc. There is such a database about every single individual in every country, but especially in Western countries as well. Do we really need that social history type of thing categorised in a census return? Do we really need to go down that route? Especially now, since the 2001 census, the internet has exploded, social networking has exploded, everything about that side of our lives has exploded, hence the fact I'm recording this on a phone. 10 years ago that would have been impossible. So things have changed. We are recording our everyday lives so much now in the last 10 years. We've had YouTube, we've had Twitter, we've had Facebook, and all those other social networking sites have come about. We are putting our information out there for people to see. Yes, I know not everybody is doing it, but as I said, there are records about us somewhere or other. So I do debate that. I'm a fan of the census purely for that historical value, because of the way that I've used it in the past. So I've always been an advocate of it, a supporter of it. And by the way, it is illegal not to fill it in. You have to fill it in, and you can be fined thousands of pounds if you don't do it, and they have people come around knocking on your door, etc., take you to court to get you to do it, type of thing. But now, even I'm debating, is it actually worth it? Now we've reached that point, maybe the debate needs to be started, the question needs to be asked. Do we really need a census return when we've got so much else out there actually recording what we do in our lives? I think it serves its purpose. It served its purpose. It served it well. It's done us a lot of good, and it's great to be able to look back on those documents from all those years ago and see your relatives there in print, you know, really coming alive in front of your eyes in some ways. But now I can look at a YouTube video, can't I? Check a Twitter status or Facebook status update or something like that. Anyway, I'd love to hear your thoughts on this one, and maybe you can tell me what it's like wherever you live as well. Thanks very much. I'll speak to you again soon. I'll enjoy the sunshine on the beach. Goodbye.